Okay. Just a little brief intro on who you are and what your life looks like today.
Okay, so my name's Erica. My life today is better than a dream. It's better than I ever thought it could be. Very happily married, got beautiful children, got a great business, and yeah, happy as.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what makes you want to share your story today with CWK?
Because I'm fully healed and I've been through a really traumatic time and I lost hope. So I really hope that this can help someone in a situation where they feel like they can't get out because they actually can get out.
Yeah. Love it. And where does your journey with domestic violence start?
Started back when I was 22. I dated a guy who was well known for getting in fights, and I was like the equivalent. I got in a lot of fights as well. So
You?
yep. I was a I was a scrapper. I grew up in Nainai, so growing up in Nainai, went up to Auckland, lived in Auckland, and I just wanted to party and have fun. And if people spoke shit, I would just punch them and carry on partying. Like,
Get it,
I just don't want to put up with shit. I didn't have time to talk. I was a little scrapper. So dating someone like that was quite normal for me, I guess. Yeah, but I just didn't understand the complications that would cause being in a serious relationship with someone like that.
Yeah. Is that what kind of attracted you to him, do you reckon?
I was raped at a young age, and I had no one look after me, so I always wanted a strong man, like someone who would fight for me as an adult. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what gravitated me towards somebody like that. Yeah.
Fuck. And then what happened?
So we were friends for 4 years. And I knew what he did, but for some reason I just put it to the side. He wouldn't do that to me, because we're such good friends.
What did you know that he did?
Beat people up, did cars, he was the 1%er type of person, you know what I mean? So he wasn't your normal guy. He was a bad boy, so to speak. Yeah. And I was just attracted to that. So how it happened is I was living with friends of mine. Things were going well for me. And he said, hey, can you go look after my house? And next thing I know, we're dating, I'd moved in, and that was it. Yeah, it happened really quick. Yeah.
And then what?
So things were going well at first, and then the first time anything happened was we were in the kitchen, and he had his little 3-year-old daughter in the kitchen. And I don't even know what happened. Next thing, he had me by the throat up in the kitchen and punched me in front of his 3-year-old. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck have I done? Like, got the fright of my life. And then it just went from that. He used to, we smoked pot and stuff, did drugs.
What did he do after he did that to you? What did he
Yelled
say?
at me, screamed at me. And I was so stunned. Like, normally I'd hit back because that's what I was used to. And I was just like, fuck, okay, I can't say anything back. Just, yep, no problem, cool, yep, whatever you want, I'll do it. Because I just wanted to stop. Like, his 3-year-old daughter was right there, you know?
Yeah.
So anything he said, I had to do. It got so bad that he had a computer. And I had lots of friends, so I travelled overseas to Japan and stuff. And he made me change my email, and I was only allowed to contact women. I wasn't allowed any men, wasn't allowed any men's phone numbers on my phone. Nothing like that.
Were you thinking, what the fuck? Or were you just going with it, like...
Well, I called a friend of mine a few times to come and get me. Every time my friends would come, he threatened to kill them. One time was really bad. It was in the daytime. I can't remember what he did. He was yelling at me, and I called my friend. She came with another friend, and they were in the driveway. And he said, what the fuck are your friends doing here? Yelled out, get out of my house or I'll fucking kill you. And he meant it. Like, he wasn't someone you fucked with, right?
Yeah.
So I went to run out the front door, and he grabbed me by my throat, smashed me. You can hear that? Dislocated my jaw like it's still fucked.
Wow.
I jumped off the balcony. 2-story house, jumped off the balcony to get away. So I don't know how he got down the stairs. He grabbed me and grabbed me by my feet up the stairs, dragging. So I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. So anything I did, like, he was in control of. my mum would ring every day and be like, why the fuck is your mum calling? Like, what's going on? 'Cause she's here in Wellington. I was in Auckland. And he's like, what the fuck does she want? What are you saying to her? And I'm like nothing. Like, he was just so controlling. Another time, he used my phone. And he called his friend. And then he checked my phone. About half an hour later, he's like, who the fuck's this? Who the fuck's this? Rings the number. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. And he rings the number. It's a guy. Wow. Picked me up, threw me on the floor, and smashed the fuck out of me. I had a dog, and my dog, which was actually his dog, attacked him. And he got a cow prodder and prodded it. And it was so bad I couldn't walk. I was black and blue right down here. So I went to a, like, it was just sort of normal. And at the time, I'm like, fuck, I'm going to die. Like, this guy's going to kill me. Like, I can't leave. Like, every time I called my friends, he would threaten to kill them. Like, I couldn't leave. And that time he did that, one of his mates come over that he looked up to, and he's like, fuck, I deliberately walked past and didn't wear makeup so he could see. And he goes, what the fuck have you done to her? And I just kept walking because I knew if I said something, it would get worse when his friend left, right? And with that in my back, I ended up going to not a chiropractor, osteopath. And he came into the osteopath with me, and the osteopath goes, what happened? I said, oh, we were play fighting. And he's like, get out of the room, to him. And he's like, what happened? I said, oh, no, we were play fighting, because I was terrified.
Yeah.
Anyway, did all these exercises. He taught me these exercises to do. I could barely walk. I was in screaming pain. Get outside, and I'll never forget, this is the moment that I'm like, fuck, man, what am I doing? This old lady with a walking stick, she walks up to me while he's getting in the car, and she goes, is there anything I can do to help you? And I'm like, fuck, this person who can't even walk herself is offering me help? Like, what the fuck do I look like to people? Like,
Yeah.
I must, because you can't see it. You can't see it yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, it's just everyday life. You just got to get through the next day, and, and then I got home and...
What did he say when you got in the car?
He acted like everything was alright. He goes, you didn't say anything, did you? I said, no, fuck. No. Like, he thinks we were play fighting. He goes, oh, he fucking knows. I said, well, it doesn't matter because he can't do anything. It's confidential. So, trying to talk it down.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got home and he kept going out and doing stuff. And at this stage, I could barely walk. And I just kept doing my exercises. I'd practice packing my bags and unpacking them. And I got down to 10 minutes of packing all my stuff.
That's pretty fucking drastic, eh? That's what you're practicing doing.
Yeah. And I'd have to act like everything was okay. I guess friends would come over and I'd have to make a cake every day and make them cups of tea and sit there and be the perfect hostess. And yeah, another time I went to the supermarket and he's outside tinkering on his cars. And I was just in the car. He's like, where the fuck are you going? So going to the shop, grabbed me by my neck, pulled me out of the car and dragged me up the stairs and beat me up. Just because I was going to the shop without telling him.
Oh.
Like, just awful. Yeah. So many bad things happen. Like, he had another kid as well, which a lot of people probably connect to this. So, he had a son to another woman. He got taken off them by SIFs, and he got given to us. And I'm like, do you even know what you're doing here? Like, he should not be here. So the first day this kid's in the house, he beats the fuck out of me, and I said, all I could say I remember I was in the bedroom, and he had me up against the wardrobe, and I said, just don't ever fucking hurt your son like you hurt me. Just don't ever hurt him. He would like lock me in the wardrobe and just lock me in there for any weird reason and smoke marijuana and put it under the door. So like now I can't be around it because I get real paranoid. Like it just takes me back.
Triggers, yeah.
It's a bad trigger. Yeah. Like, yeah, he was, just awful. So it got so bad that my mum, I'll never forget a conversation I had with her. She said to me, Erica, you're either going to kill yourself or he's going to kill you. Yeah. That's your only way out. You got to do something. So one day...
Were you telling her what was going on, or did mother's
No, but
instincts?
mums know.
Yeah.
And I was an empty shell. Like, I wasn't talking like this. Like, I talk quietly and scared to say anything. Like, he'd call in and be, like, really fast on the phone. Like, yep, I'm okay. Yep, gotta go. Hang up the phone. Like, I couldn't say anything. There's nothing I could say. Even, like, out and about, like, I wish there were things, like, I didn't even know about the Women's Refuge. If I did, I'd know. Like, I remember I called one of my guy friends, who was my best friend, and he was also his friend. And I rang him and I said, you gotta help me. He goes, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do. I couldn't call the police because of who he was. So if I knew if I called the police, then I'd be worse off. So for me, there was really no way out. until one day, one of his friend's fathers passed away. It was a funeral. And he's like, you need to come along. And I thought, this is my way out. This is my only time. And I said to him, you know what? I'll stay home. I'll clean the house. I'll make a nice meal. You need to be there for your friend. So you go to the funeral and I'll be here sorting everything out. Went down the drive and I rang my friend. First time I ever called her, said, please come get me. Please just come and get me. She came in her little car, picked me up, and I'll never forget that moment of just grabbing stuff quickly. I didn't even know. It happened so quick. Jumped in her car, kissed my dog goodbye, and I was gone. So I thought. He rings me. He's like, babe, I've been calling the house. Where are you? And I'm like, fuck you. I fucking left you. Like, I'm not fucking coming back. Go fuck yourself. And he's like, I've just put dirt on the grave. And I'm like, I don't care what you've put me through. I've gone. Anyway, so I went to a safe house, which I thought was safe. So I'm there with my friend, and I was organising going to Japan to get out of the country because I did contracts over there. And so that was getting done like an emergency, like 3 days or something. I had to wait. Anyway, so that night, he turns up in this house. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like, just when I thought I'd gotten out of it, you know? And he comes and gives me this crystal egg and some money. He's acting so nice and, you know, come back, babe. And I'm like, no, let me think about it. Let me just stay here the night. And I had to go and hide somewhere else. Yeah.
How did he fucking find you?
I don't know. Like, I had 3 cars that were mine, and I left them all at his house because I didn't want him knowing where I was. I left all my jewellery. I left heaps of stuff. Like, just grabbed a bag of clothes and just, yeah.
What was it feeling like when you saw him there at the house?
I was terrified because I didn't know if he was actually going to hurt me in front of people this time. Like, it was always behind the scenes. But because he was like, okay, you've gone, you know? Yeah, and he's trying to get me back. So while I was in Japan, he rings up my grandfather. Found it on the phone bill. I hardly ever spoke to my grandparents. And he rang him and said, look, Erica's being held in Japan against her will. She owes money over there. We've got to get her back home.
What the fuck?
So he was trying to get me deported back home.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was that bad. And my mum said over my fucking dead body. And I'm like, oh my God, Mum, don't say that. Mum, if you're watching, Jesus, you're lucky. Yeah, but luckily over time, I was over there for 3 months. So it was long enough to be away from him.
Yeah.
And he got a new girlfriend finally, thank God. Yeah, so... Yeah.
Fucking hell, I don't even know what to say. It's like a fucking movie, Erica.
Yeah, but there was more. There was more stuff as well. Like, there was just so many other things that happened. Like, we'd go out clubbing, and if any guy even came near me, the boys would gather around and push him away and say, you know, like, fuck off, back off. Yeah, any little thing. I remember, I was doing acting work, short and straight and stuff like that, just like extra work. And I was doing quite well in my career, and the people call up, you know, do you want a job? And be like, looking at him like, can I work? And you go, yeah, you can work. Get off the phone, you're not fucking working. And so they just stopped calling. So my career just went down the tubes. So he ruined my income as well. Yeah.
And what did you do after, you know, to try to heal yourself and things like that after that?
I ended up being a hard user on ice and coke in Japan.
Did you?
Yeah. Try and kill it. Try and just get through, because what he put me through was just playing through my head all the time. And so I wanted to escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got hardcore into drugs. Yeah. And for years.
Fuck, how long were you over there?
2 years. Back and forth. 2 years. But then even coming back to Auckland, Wellington, I still did drugs then for years. Yeah. Because of what he put me through and what happened to me as a teenager as well. Yeah.
And how have you been able to kind of change your life after that?
My son saved my life. Getting pregnant with him, I was in Australia in another abusive relationship, but not physically. I fell pregnant with my son, and that's when I quit drugs and I quit smoking. And in my head, because I'm quite spiritual, in my head I was like, this body is not mine. This is a vessel for my child to grow in. So it's not up to me to put toxic shit in my body anymore. This is my kid's body. Yeah. So I just quit everything. Yeah. and I managed to carry on like that. But it's been hard. I've still gotten in abusive relationships and shit situations because that's all I was used to.
Yeah.
But now, after meeting my husband, I've been with him 9 years. Yeah, I met him on NZ Dating, and he wasn't the type of guy I normally date, but he just loves me for me, and he just supports all my goals and everything. And I've done so well with my life since coming back to Wellington this time and being off drugs. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so I just keep, like, anything that gets in my way, I'm like, nothing can be as bad as what I've been through. So
Yeah.
it's, you know, like that little obstacle, like, you know what it's
Yeah,
like.
yeah, fuck yes.
If you can give up drugs, you can fucking do anything. Like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
And do you feel like you learnt a fuckload since going through that? Like,
Yeah. I learnt self-worth.
yeah.
Because I always felt like I wasn't good enough. Because that's how they make you feel. It's like that he stopped me from my dreams. It's like nothing's going to get in the way of my dreams anymore, my goals. Like, nothing gets in my way. If you're in my way, I'll fucking fuck you off.
Bulldoze you, yeah.
See you later. Like,
Yeah.
I won't be nasty, but just see you later. I don't
Yeah,
have time.
yeah,
I don't have
yeah.
time for the drama. It's just see you later. I
Yeah.
don't have room for that in my life. Just got to keep going and just show my kids that, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you got a dream, you just do it. Yeah.
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 And what would you say to anyone that may be watching that is in that situation that you were in?
Call the cops. Like, they will. There's so many new places now, like Women's Refuge. Like, they've
But
always
what
been
if
there.
they're in a thing where, remember how you said if you had called the cops, that would have made shit worse for you?
That's what I thought. But if I had called the cops with Women's Refuge, working with the police and everything, now I would have been safe.
Yeah.
I would have been looked after. But it was the shit he put in my head
Yes.
that I thought I couldn't,
yeah.
and it was my loyalty to him that made me think I couldn't.
Loyalty out of fear.
Well, that's my one thing is loyalty and respect. Like, that's my that's me. That's what I'm about. Growing up, the situations I've been in is loyalty, respect, integrity is all we have at the end of the day. And for him, it was the loyalty. So I felt like I couldn't narc on him.
Hard.
Whereas I've learnt, doesn't matter who you are, if you go to the police for protection like that, for your physical and mental, not to do with drugs or anything like that, that's narking. But when it comes to your physical and mental being, you got to look after yourself. No one else is going to look after you. No one else can look after you. You have to go to the police. You have to go Women's Refuge. You have to reach out. Like, your family and stuff, they're too emotional to deal with that. And it's a lot for them. So I think just reach for the right services. Yeah.
Yeah. When you talk about family, for it to be too emotional, what do you mean by that?
Like, if my mum had come, or any of my brother or anything had gone like that, there would have been an altercation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Then it would have been unsafe for all of you.
would have been unsafe, yeah. Whereas if I got the police who could actually escort me off, like, I think they can, I don't know if they can, but I think they can even come and pretend to arrest you or something. I don't know. Maybe I've watched too many movies. You just ring up and say you're suicidal or whatever and just get taken away. Like, there's always an opportunity when he's in the toilet, when he's in the shower. There's that, like, 2 minutes where you can make that plan. You've got to do something because you will end up dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone like that, yeah.
And that's what you thought that was going to happen to you if you don't fucking do something?
Yeah. I remember when he raged, his eyes would go black. It's like something took over him. Like, just anger, just evil. Yeah. That's not safe. And yeah, it's not safe. So if there's anyone like that, you're not safe and you never will be. It will only ever get worse. Like, they always say, oh, like, he'd, like, buy me something. I remember for my birthday, fuck, this is funny. He couldn't afford diamond earrings, so he bought me a calf. And that was to get me up in the mornings, because he was trying to get me pregnant as well. So I would have to stay, so he'd trap me. Yeah. Like, he'd send me off to the toilet with how to get pregnant books. And I'd be like, fuck off. Fucking having your kids. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, to try and trap me. Yeah.
That's scary.
But, I mean, that's what they do. They're controlling.
Yeah.
Controlling men. They'll try anything to try and trap you and keep you. Yeah.
Like a possession, eh?
Absolutely, yeah.
What the fuck's up with the cow?
So I would get up early in the morning and feed it and be like a mum. So I'll get used to being up, because I like to sleep. And he didn't like me sleeping. He wanted me to get me up early.
Oh, that is sick. Fucking sick.
That's the worst part, ain't it? No, seriously.
Trying to take your sleep.
No, seriously, like, you know, like, we laugh at it, but that's to the extent he was going. Yeah. Had a bedtime, like it was all around him.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Well, fucking hell. Good on you for getting out of there.
Well, let's just say I was very lucky.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky, because so many times
You
I've
know,
tried to.
and another thing is, lucky you didn't fuck off with him that night he turned up at that fucking safe house.
Mm. Yeah.
Hey, because,
He would have killed me.
yeah.
He would have. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 6 months, you know, it was a long 6 months. Felt like forever. Yeah.
Good on you, man, Erica. Good
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share with us today?
That's pretty much it, I think. I mean, if anyone's got any questions or you got any more questions, I don't know. Yeah.
Show us your tattoo and what the significance of that is.
Can they see that?
Yeah.
So I got this today, and this means resurrection. So I thought it was really powerful to get this today, because this is my final way where I spread my wings and I can just kiss that goodbye, and it's completely over.
Fuck
Like sharing my story now, and hopefully I can help somebody.
yeah.
I've been through counselling, and as you can see, I'm okay now, and it was years ago. But this is just a symbol of my resurrection and how far I've become. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. And like, just touch, before we jump off here, the counselling, how important is that? How
So
important has that been for your recovery in that?
For me, it's been good to know that none of it was my fault. Because some of it you're like, oh, maybe he acted that way because of something I did.
Yeah.
You know, you start to think it's your fault because they fuck with your head.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and to know that I don't have to live there anymore. That's my past. I don't have to keep thinking about it every day. I can actually go, you know what? You no longer have that hold on me anymore. Like, I'm living my life now. You're not a part of my life. So you're back there and you can fucking stay there. Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it, Erica.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Well, on behalf of CWK, I want to thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And we wish you nothing but the best, but I can see you're gunning for it, girl.
Oh,
You're
man, I
fucking
don't
gunning
stop.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us anyway, just a quick plug in what your bizzo and shit is.
Oh, shame.
No, fuck no, you worked for it.
I worked hard. So I own a beauty business called Fresh Face Beauty. I'm a cosmetic tattooist. I'm about to bring in the Hyaluronic pen, which is really cool, pumping up your lips. Needling, facials, all sorts of stuff. So we're currently working on a new space in Queen's Drive, Lower Hutt. I've got Brie Dots, who's done this. She's my resident artist. And we've got Cam, who's Skin Spider, coming from Dr. Morse. He's also coming in as a resident. And we're going to have guest spot artists as well. So it's going to turn into like a real cool community. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One question there. Where is he now?
He's dead. He died of a heart attack. So that's also why I know I can share my story. Yeah. And I laughed. I was like, fucking awesome when he died. Good on him. And my friends are like, oh, you know, you were so close. And I'm like, fuck him. What he did to me, fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sorry if his family's watching this, but you know the shit I went through. So he fucking, whatever, he deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much again for sharing your story with us.
Thanks, Nix.